afternoon. Welcome back to Stories in STEAM. We are on week 5, so we are halfway through our Stories in STEAM for this session. I hope you guys have been having fun, and I hope that you'll continue to have fun. This week, maybe you guys can already see it, but it's backwards. We are going to read a book called Stellaluna. Have you ever heard of Stellaluna? So some of you may have already heard this book. It is about a little bat. It's one of my favorite books about bats. It's by Janelle Cannon, who is one of my favorite picture book authors. She also wrote Verity, which is about a green snake. And it's one of my favorites too. But we're going to learn all about Stellaluna, and then I'm going to show you guys how sound waves kind of work. So here is Stellaluna by Janelle Cannon. In a warm and sultry forest far, far away, there once lived a mother fruit bat and her new baby. Oh, how Mother Bat loved her soft, tiny baby. "I'll name you Stellaluna," she crooned. And each night, Mother Bat would carry Stellaluna clutched to her breast as she flew out to search for food. Do you guys see Stellaluna right there hanging on? One night, as Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit, an owl spied her. On silent wings, the powerful bird swooped down upon the bats. Dodging and shrieking, Mother Bat tried to escape, but the owl struck again and again, knocking Stellaluna into the air. Her baby wings were as limp and useless as wet paper towel. Down, down she went, faster and faster, into the forest below. The dark, leafy tangle of branches caught Stellaluna as she fell. One twig was small enough for Stellaluna's tiny feet. Wrapping her wings about her, she clutched the thin branch, trembling with cold and fear. "Mother," Stellaluna squeaked, "where are you?" By daybreak, the baby bat could hold on no longer. Down, down again she dropped. Where do you guys think she's gonna drop to now? Flump! Stellaluna landed headfirst into a soft, downy nest, startling the 3 baby birds who lived there. Stellaluna quickly clambered from the nest and hung out of sight below it. She listened to the babble of the 3 birds. "What was that?" cried Flap. "I don't know, but it's hanging by its feet," chirped Flitter. "Shh! Here comes Mama," hissed Pip. Many times that day, Mama Bird flew away, always returning with food for her babies. Stellaluna was terribly hungry, but not for the crawly things Mama Bird brought. Finally, though, the little bat could bear it no longer, so she climbed into the nest, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth. Plop! In dropped a big green grasshopper. What do you guys think? Do you want a grasshopper for dinner? Stellaluna learned to be like the birds. She stayed awake all day and slept at night. She ate bugs even though they tasted awful. Her bat ways were quickly disappearing, except for one thing. Stellaluna still liked to sleep hanging by her feet. Once, when Mama was away, the curious baby birds decided to try it too. When Mama Bird came home, she saw 8 tiny feet gripping the edge of the nest. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. "Eek!" she cried. "Get back up here this instant! You're going to fall and break your necks!" The birds clambered back into the nest, but Mama Bird stopped Stellaluna. "You are teaching my children to do bad things. I will not let you back into this nest unless you promise to obey all the rules of this house." Stellaluna promised. She ate bugs without making faces. She slept in the nest at night, and she didn't hang by her feet. Stellaluna behaved as a good bird should. All the babies grew quickly, and soon the nest became crowded. Mama Bird told them it was time to learn to fly. One by one, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stella Luna jumped from the nest. Their wings worked. I'm just like them, thought Stella Luna. I can fly too. Pip, Flitter, and Flap landed gracefully on a branch. Stella Luna tried to do the same. What do you guys think? How embarrassing. Poor Stella. I will fly all day, Stella Luna told herself. Then no one will see how clumsy I am. The next day, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stella Luna went flying far from home. They flew for hours, exercising their new wings. The sun is setting, warned Flitter. We had better go home, or we will get lost in the dark, said Flap. But Stella Luna had flown far ahead and was nowhere to be seen. The three anxious birds went home without her. All alone, Stella Luna flew and flew until her wings ached and she dropped into a tree. I promised not to hang by my feet, Stella Luna sighed. So she hung by her thumbs and soon fell asleep. She didn't hear the soft sound of wings coming near. Did you guys see all the wings in the back? What do you think those are? Hey! A loud voice said. Why are you hanging upside down? Stella Luna's eyes opened wide. She saw a most peculiar face. I'm not upside down. You are, Stella Luna said. Ah, but you're a bat. Bats hang by their feet. You are hanging by your thumbs, so that makes you upside down, the creature said. I'm a bat. I am hanging by my feet. That makes me right side up. Stella Luna was confused. Mama Bird told me I was upside down. She said I was wrong. Wrong for a bird, maybe, but not for a bat. More bats gathered round to see the strange young bat who behaved like a bird. Stella Luna told them her story. You ate bugs? Stuttered one. You slept at night? Gasped another. How very strange, they all murmured. Wait. Let me look at this child. A bat pushed through the crowd. An owl attacked you? She asked. Sniffling Stella Luna's fur, she whispered, You are Stella Luna. You are my baby. You escaped the owl? Cried Stella Luna. You survived? Yes, said Mama Bat, as she wrapped her wings around Stella Luna. Come with me, and I'll show you where to find the most delicious fruit. You'll never have to eat another bug as long as you live. But it's nighttime, Stella Luna squeaked. We can't fly in the dark, or we will crash into trees. We're bats, said Mother Bat. We can see in darkness. Come with us. Stella Luna was afraid, but she let go of the tree and dropped into the deep blue sky. Stella Luna could see. She felt as though rays of light shone from her eyes. She was able to see everything in her path. Soon the bats found a mango tree, and Stella Luna ate as much of the fruit as she could hold. I'll never eat another bug as long as I lived, cheered Stella Luna as she stuffed herself full. I must tell Pip, Flitter, and Flap. The next day, Stella went to visit the birds. Come with me and meet my bat family, said Stella Luna. Okay, let's go, agreed Pip. They hang by their feet and they fly at night and they eat the best food in the world, Stella explained to the birds on the way. As the birds flew among the bats, Flap said, I feel upside down here. So the birds hung by their feet. Wait until dark, Stella Luna said excitedly. We will fly at night. When night came, Stella Luna flew away. Pip, Flitter, and Flap leaped from the tree to follow her. I can't see a thing, yelled Pip. Neither can I, howled Flitter. Ah! Shrieked Flap. They're going to crash, gasped Stella Luna. I must rescue them. Stella Luna swooped up, grabbing her friends in the air. She lifted them to a tree, and the birds grasped a branch. Stella Luna hung from the limb above them. We're safe, said Stella Luna, and then she sighed. I wish you could see in the dark, too. We wish you could land on your feet, Flitter replied. Pip and Flap nodded. They perched in silence for a long time. How can we be so different and feel so much alike, mused Flitter. And how can we feel so different and be so much alike, wondered Pip. I think this is quite a mystery, Flap chirped. I agree, said Stella Luna, but we're friends, and that's a fact. The end. So that was Stella Luna. So Stella Luna is a fruit bat, which means that she eats fruit. Yeah. So there are over 4,000 species of mammals, and a quarter of them are bats. So that means about 1,000 bat species. So bats are mammals. Birds are not mammals. So even though birds and bats seem very similar, they're actually very different from each other, right? So they have different adaptations. So we read a little bit about some of Stella Luna's adaptations as a bat, like how she can see at night and how she hangs by her feet. We also learned about bird adaptations, like how they're really good at stopping and landing on a branch in mid-flight, right? So there are all kinds of adaptations in our animal world, and what I want to talk to you guys now is about an adaptation that many bats, not Stella Luna, but many bats have. So Stella Luna eats, what did we read she likes to eat? Fruit, and she doesn't really like bugs, but there are a lot of bat species that do eat bugs, and so instead of good night vision, they have good night vision too, because they're nocturnal, just like Stella Luna, but they also use their ears, and they use echolocation, which helps them, just like I said at the beginning. So echolocation helps them to find things based on sound waves bouncing off. So maybe sound isn't something that is easy to see, so we are going to do a science experiment to see if we can see sound, okay? So ready? All right, so like I said, we're going to see if we can make it so that we can kind of see how sound works, right? So, like I said, some bats use a process called echolocation to find food. So we are going to see if we can, with some vibration, sort of see how sound works. So I've got my saran wrap with some sprinkles on it, and I have my tray here, so they're not touching. But when I do this, the vibration from my tin, so the sound, this is sound waves, they vibrate. That vibration, you see what it's doing to those sprinkles? It kind of makes them look like they're dancing, they're bouncing because those vibrations are happening. So these vibrations are very similar to the way that sound waves travel. So like vibrations happen. The vibrations happen for us, that's how we hear. Little vibrations happen in our ears, and that's how everything gets transferred into sound for us. So that's how we hear. The bats hear kind of similar with this vibration and these bouncing and the echolocation. So that is our word of the day. So remember, Stellaluna was what kind of bat? All right, so Stellaluna is remember this was Stellaluna. She's a cute little bat. Stellaluna is a fruit bat. Remember I said there were close to 1,000 species of bats. We have 3 species of vampire bats, 170 species of fruit bats, and then the other 800 or so are Microchiroptera. And so that is all of our bats that eat insects and that eat fish or reptiles or amphibians, right? Stellaluna, our fruit bat, obviously uses those eyes we talked about in the story to find the fruit and stuff that she's gonna eat. But our other bats that are catching those insects, they need a different adaptation. And what was that called? Echolocation. Good job. I hope you guys enjoyed Stories in STEAM this week. I know a lot of you probably have not ever seen a bat, so I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about them. Maybe you have seen a bat. That's pretty cool. Next week, we are going to talk about something that maybe you haven't seen, but that I know for a fact all of you have. So, I hope you'll tune in next week. Put a comment in the comment section if you think you know what we're going to talk about next week. And remember, you can stop in the library as long as you have your mask to pick up holds, pick up packets. We have our scavenger hunt. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe on YouTube or like us on Facebook so you get all of our updates. Remember, we would love to see you come in to pick up your stuff. You just gotta have that mask on, okay? Bye, guys.